Gunpla, Bandai's line of mecha model kits dedicated to the powerful and awe-inspiring mobile suits of the various Gundam universes. Every year I count down the best of Bandai's offering, and this year is no different. Welcome to Mekigai Kotsu's best Gundam model kits of 2023. Exceedingly good yet not exceedingly expensive, leaving your wallet relatively intact at the 10th position is this year's obligatory budget-friendly edition. But don't let its discount price dissuade you. The entry-grade Build Strike Exceed Galaxy is a fantastic kit in its own right. This kit is platinum tier for a reason, and the fact that it's just $8 retail is a bonus. No tools required, so perfect for the plot-curious beginners who don't want to invest in a nipper, but with enough options and compatibility out of the box to keep veteran builders happy. Also, its cheap price means it's great for practicing custom techniques on. Aesthetically, the Build Strike Exceed Galaxy is gorgeous, especially considering it is an entry-grade kit. The plastic is great quality and looks great, albeit a bit on the brittle side, but that does mean we have exceedingly sharp molding of detail, nice muted colors contrasted by bright clear pink effect parts, and those killer color separated EG style eyes where the black is implied by shadow. Another downside, due to its simple design, there are quite a few mold lines and nubs, especially if you don't use any tools in its build. So even though it is designed to be built without tools, you'll get a much better result if you actually do use some tools. When it comes to the accessories, sometimes you don't get a lot in the box with an entry grade. But not this time. In here is the full Gundam spread of sword, board, and beam rifle, as well as a backpack and some extras. One mild downside is there's no alternative expressive hand, so you're always stuck with the standard blocky Holden hands. Weapons-wise, you get the standard strike beam rifle, a combining transforming beam rifle that changes into a gun sword or a sword. Next up in here we've got the shield with a matching design to the mobile suit, which can also be used with that beam blade effect part. Next up in here is the backpack. This can be used well as a backpack on the back, but can also be mounted onto the arm as an awesome rocket punch. On top of what comes included inside of this box, this kit is fully geared to using what doesn't come inside of this box, as it has enough hardpoints and adapters to make it one of the most modular and compatible 1/44th scale kits around. When it comes to the build and the articulation, this entry grade has a bit of a loose waist joint, but overall for the most part it is pretty good. It's a simple kit, but it packs some decent articulation. However, please note that it can be a bit loose, and beware this somewhat brittle plastic. Also, the base adapter hold is a bit of a crappy design. Considering its budget-friendly design, the EG Strike Exceed Galaxy is a fantastic kit, and whether you're new to the hobby or an aging crotchety veteran, this kit is definitely worth the 8 quatlus. Budget Gunpla at its best. Slicing through the 9th position like a hot side through butter is the Full Mechanics Forbidden Gundam. Jumping from one end of the price scale to the other, this kit clocks in at 6,380 yen retail, which is about $44, making it the second most expensive kit of the year. In 2023, we did have a distinct lack of 1/100 scale offerings, and 0 perfect grades are bigger. So if you're looking for the biggest full release Gundam kit of the year, then this is the one. This is as big as it gets. It's not very big. This kit right here is the third and last of a line that started with 2021's Calamity Gundam and continued with 2022's Raider Gundam. All of these kits share a core frame, so in a way, this is a full mechanics kit with 2-year-old full mechanics tech at its core. When it comes to the looks, the Forbidden Gundam is drop-dead gorgeous. It's an imposing beast of a Gundam with an incredibly unique color scheme. First off, starting with a little bit of a history lesson. The whole point of the Full Mechanics Gundam model kit line is to make kits that look like master grades on the outside, but with a simplified design and build on the inside, and none of those master grade bells and whistles. The whole point is to make 1/100 kits that are cheaper to produce, and this kit definitely does that. Nice detailing including tasteful panel lines, and some nice grey detailing rising up from the grey layers of plastic below to create subtle yet fancy surface detailing. And that dual layering of plastic also leads to some nice premium thickness in the armor parts. The color separation here is pretty much perfect for the most part, and all that we're missing is just some red on the inside surface of some of the thrusters, which is incredibly impressive. There are some decal stickers included in here if you like those, but they don't look spectacular as the edges do show up on darker plastic, somewhat cheapening the overall look, especially from up close. Again, I'll throw in my usual complaint here, Bandai should release water slides for these kits on release day, so that at least would be an option. When it comes to the extras inside of the box, there isn't really a whole lot of options in here, which might look a bit scant at first glance, but the Forbidden Gundam is an all-encompassing war machine with all of its DACA being contained as onboard weapons, especially around back. But as for what we get some holding hands, sadly no expressive ones in here, but what we do have in here is compatible with most recent 1/100 Gundam Seed models, including Master Grades. So that does mean you can harvest those particular kits for parts and use their weapons as well. Compatibility is always very nice. The only holdable weapon in here is the Nidhogger Scythe. It doesn't do a whole lot, but the ridiculous concept of a 20-meter long mecha scythe is just too daft not to be awesome. However, the actual weapon here inside the box is pretty featureless. The real star of the show in here, however, is that monster of a backpack, covered in guns, 2 giant shields, and loads of articulation to get this in whatever position that you want. The transformation to high-speed mode is simple and effective, with an awesome automatic head recessing torso spinning gimmick, which automatically lines up the body and drops the head while you rotate the backpack up and over. Extremely impressive. Oh, and the fact that there's a giant V-fin on the backpack, so when the backpack comes up and over, is pretty hilarious, just so you don't forget that this is actually a Gundam underneath that big old turtle shell. One minor complaint is the fact that this kit is big and cumbersome, so it would have been nice of Bandai to include a stand in the box, which, well, isn't unusual. And the fact that, well, this kit 100% needs one, even just to stand up. Also, big warning, the base adapter for this kit is ass. Build and articulation wise, Bandai tends to use a softer, lighter plastic with full mechanics kits compared to Master Grades. So it is a bit wiggly, a bit delicate, and somewhat bouncy and janky at times. It can struggle with weight somewhat, and I'm actually going to stop for a second and mention that the fact that I have to mention so many down points in the top 10 of the year might seem like a bad testament to the quality of Gunpla in 2023, but don't worry, the jump in quality from 8 down is huge. But it's not all bad news. It might wiggle a bit, but it is an insanely good poser at its core, and the impeccable, gorgeous Gundam Seed design means that this looks so dynamic in every single pose. When it comes to the verdict, this kit maximizes on looks but fails a bit in strength and build, but overall is an impressively over-the-top addition to any 1/100 Gunpla collection. The final entry into a trio of extremely colorful 1/100 Seed kits, to me, the Forbidden Gundam is the best of the bunch, especially due to that killer transformation. What is that in the 8th position? Haven't we seen that before? Is this some kind of clone? Some kind of Replichild? Nope, it's an upgrade. This right here is the queen of high fives, known as the high-grade Gundam Aerial rebuild. This is the Season 1 upgrade to the Gundam Aerial, and as you would expect, it's incredibly similar to last year's high-grade Aerial, the Standard Aerial, which I ranked the 4th best Gundam kit of 2022. When it comes to the looks, even though physically this kit has a lot in common with the standard high-grade Gundam Aerial, visually this is quite the departure. Some might feel that some of the Aerial's distinct charm is lost in this variant, which definitely reflects the show's switch to a more serious note. Even though we might have lost some of the charm, we gained some killer wings, so overall, it's a win in my opinion. If you do want to see a full comparison between the two kits, make sure to check out the full review of this, the high-grade Aerial rebuild, so you can figure out which high-grade Aerial is for you. The correct answer is both. But yeah, aesthetically, the most important aspect to take home when it comes to the rebuild is the fact that this one right here has a cute, disgruntled, angry mouth. Accessories wise, this is the typical Gundam sword, board, and beam rifle with all of that awesome Gundam Aerial bit stave shenanigans. Hands are just block fists, beam sabers are standard with flat blue beams, and the backpack is extremely dynamic with a lot of nice moving parts. This particular version of Aerial the Rebuild comes with a nice chunky beam rifle with lots of cool features, holes and slots for expansion, a swappable barrel to convert it to the huge long-range form, and it can also be used with the bit staves. Speaking of which, once again we've got the aerials escutcheon. Again, this does need stickers to be color accurate, which is bad, but all of the cool stuff we would have seen before is here. This can break down into a bunch of bit staves that can be posed flying around on stands, sold separately, or attached onto the rifle to create the bit-on rifle, which is an over-the-top ridiculous weapon. Looks awesome. Like we've seen with other Venatus Gundams, these bit staves can also attach onto the rebuild to replicate the bit-on form, where the bits are, on, the Gundam. Bit on! Articulation-wise, this is a rock-solid, plastic-on-plastic build that feels phenomenal. Even though it looks like the standard high-grade aerial, this is actually a completely brand new kit made from new parts on new runners. When it comes to poses, this is a poser's dream. Insane articulation and those gorgeous wings mean this looks insanely good and incredibly dynamic in every single pose, even outdoing the standard Gundam aerial. I absolutely love posing this particular kit. In the end, the high-grade Gundam aerial rebuild may not have the iconic look of the original, but what this HG packs into the box is just perfection. It is a complete kit. And for what it's worth, those awesome wings are worth it alone. And it does give the best high fives. Blasting in for 20 seconds of screen time in the 7th position and the best platinum tier Gundam kit of 2023 is the astounding Gundam Schwarzette. Visually, the high-grade Gundam Schwarzette is one of the most unique looking Gundams around. A beautiful mix of Jeturk heavy industry style and traditional Gundam flair. The plastic on here is impressive and can be a bit deceptive at first. In person, this kit has a soft matte finish on the white, which really complements the soft curves of the mecha perfectly. This is something a video nor a picture can ever capture, and it's only something you will see when it's sitting in your hands. The shell units look incredible with that fantastic pink to purple gradient, and speaking of which, the stickers on the wing segments are mad. Out of this world. They're made out of thick, flat stickers which are pretty much like sticky sheets of plastic for a premium perfect crease-free finish. The Schwarzette features some incredibly nice design elements never seen before in a mobile suit bearing the name Gundam, like the halo on the head, revolver barrels in the forearms, and feet that resembles hooves. The head on this kit is incredible, one of the best, most detailed heads in the high-grade line. The color separation and layering is off the charts, and we do get some beautiful pink color-separated eyes. Absolutely astounding. When it comes to the options inside of this box, at first glance it doesn't look like a lot, but looks can be deceiving. First off, we've got an expressive left hand, always awesome, but the centerpiece of the accessories in here is the transformable Guardian bit system. This big old thing has multiple forms. First, the giant buster sword known as the Guardian Sheath. It then splits apart into bits and a beam katana known as the Guardian Draw. And finally, the last form is the Guardian Marionette. Here all of the bit staves attach onto the Schwarzette, and this form in itself has its own unique 4 different forms, all of which look incredible. If you love changing your Gunpla around, having it in a whole load of different poses and different options, this is one you will absolutely adore. The articulation and build on the Schwarzette is exactly what you've come to expect from the Witch from Mercury line. It's rock solid and absolute perfection. Full range of motion at every joint, and you'll get perfect poses out of this every single time. Combine that with its breathtakingly unique Ippei Gyobyu design, and this is outright addictive to pose and addictive to look at. So yeah, if you love Gundams, but have grown a bit tired of this standard Gundam look, then this kit is exactly what you need. A perfect kit that is 10 out of 10 in every aspect, but looks both new and traditional at the same time. Too bad it didn't get a little bit more limelight in the anime. From here on down in this list, all of these 6 kits have been ranked Gundarium tier, the highest rank I can give to a Gundam kit. These are kits that are so good they're better than the best or have revolutionized their own grade. Truly, these are unmissable Gundam model kits. Let's count them down. Unleashing the fury of Permit score 6 in the 6th position is the Full Mechanics Gundam Aerial, and all that I can say is that this 1 was the hardest kit to place on this list. Put side by side with the Full Mechanics Forbidden Gundam, and they don't even seem like the same grade at all. This is Full Mechanics Revolutionized, and it is an amazing kit. This right here is almost more like a Master Grade Light, like a new brand of Master Grade, which I suppose is what Full Mechanics was always meant to be, but it never was. Until now. Don't expect Master Grade staples like a full inner frame, moving armor gimmicks, and a cockpit, but do expect those Master Grade looks because that is where this kit excels. It's also a very simple build, fast to build, so once again a great place to start as a beginner, especially if you want something a little bit bigger, and it's also still a fantastic kit for seasoned builders. Visually, this is a phenomenally beautiful 1/100 kit. Throw this in with a collection of Master Grades and it will fit right in. I said it in the review and I'll say it again. If I came through a time machine from around 2012 to now and saw that kit visually, I would assume that was the new Master Grade kit. It looks that good. However, right now, just in case you are new to the hobby, I will explain the whole number thing. Gunpla comes in 3 main sizes, small, medium, and large. That's 1/44th, 1/100, and 1/60th. This one is medium, so 1/100, so clocks in at 100 times smaller than the mecha would be in reality, so that makes it about 18 centimeters, and it is a good deal larger than the high grade offering of the exact same mobile suit. The color separation here is fantastic. There's no color correcting stickers inside the box whatsoever. Panel lining is essential because a lot of the detail on this kit is implied as opposed to, well, actually being actual parts. This is created with a lot of recessed lines, called panel lines, that always look so much better with a little bit of ink. So this is one of those kits that it is absolutely important that you get it lined up. There are sticker style decals included, but they're not very nice. They've got those big pronounced borders that don't look so great. At first with this kit, I expected it to be just a scaled up version of the high grade, but that is not the case. It's a lot more slender and a lot more graceful, and to me it feels much more like the soft, graceful Ariel that we would have seen in the anime. The colors are vivid and the white is crisp and pristine. The shell units here are recreated with actual chrome red parts under smoky clear black parts, which gives a pretty cool effect, but debatably, they aren't as popping as what we saw in the high grade with those pre-molded, light-catching chest shell units. Accessories wise, this once again is the usual Gundam area loadout of the sword, board, and beam rifle. The hands are what we see in a lot of modern Master Grade kits. That's a movable thumb with swappable fingers. The beam sabers are regular enough with flat blue beams, they hold in the hands perfect and can be stored on pivoting pegs around the backpack. The beam rifle is very simple but does what it needs to do, and it does come with a ridiculously huge beam blade which looks astounding. And when this is not in use, it attaches onto the backpack using an adapter. The main event in here once again is the shield. Boasting moving gimmicks, it can be used as a standard shield, separate into individual bits staves, or attach onto the Gundam Ariel itself to recreate Ariel's awesome bit-on form. When it comes to the build and the articulation, this kit doesn't exhibit the same overall strength as its high-grade counterpart, and is a bit loose in the waist and ankles. The overall articulation is very good. The upper body is fantastic, but the legs and the feet are a little bit on the limited side, so hyper-dynamic poses may be a little bit out of its reach at times. And of course, this is a 1/100 with no fun, Master Grade, moving armor gimmicks. So if you want a big, beautiful Gundam Ariel, then this is the kit for you. And honestly, it's the best the Ariel has ever looked in plastic. However, there is a little bit of a trade-off in stability and articulation, but in the end, it will look impressive in its final resting place up on your shelf. So if you're more about shelf presence than articulation, then this is the Ariel for you. Master Grade SD. It still sounds like a joke to me, but one thing is for certain, these kits are no joke, boy, no joke. Fully fleshed out, fully featured, fully loaded Master Grades in the body of an SD, and I am in love. These kits just started this year and we've already got 2 of them and I can't wait to build more. Fully bursting into the 5th position is the Master Grade SD Freedom Gundam, the first release of the line, and this was one hell of a debut. When it comes to the aesthetics, this is a kit that speaks for itself. Just look at it. It's absolutely ridiculous in all the best ways. It's like Bandai took one of those little NX Edge figures and said, what if this was a model kit? What if this was a master grade model kit? Because that is what it is. Bandai have painstakingly designed this kit from the inner frame up, and it does have 90% of an inner frame. Overall, we've got a premium look usually reserved for real grade, master grade and above. Two-tone white and perfect color separation, no paint required and no color correcting stickers. The clear parts are astounding, which seems to be the status quo for MGSD, with popping eyes and fantastic blue clear parts all over the kit. Just like we would see in a master grade, this kit features absolutely fantastic parts layering. I'll also mention that we do get some stickers included, but this is the usual complaint about sticker style decals. The edges show up pretty bad against the plastic and definitely don't look great from up close. Again, insert water slide complaint here. As for what comes included with the accessories with the Master Grade SD Freedom, we get the usual loadout once again of sword, board and beam rifle. Master Grade SD hands are semi-posable but quite reliable. The beam sabers in here are fairly standard, can combine together and can be stored in some cool opening and closing side skirt armor hatches. The beam rifle is gorgeous and fully color separated, but besides that it's fairly standard. It fits into the hands perfectly and can be stored when not in use around on the butt flap. Just like everything else in here, the shield is gorgeous, but functionally it's fairly standard and doesn't do a whole lot. It's looks over functionability. This attaches onto the arm absolutely perfectly and looks beautiful. We've got those typical Freedom onboard weapons, so we've got fold-out cannons on the hips and around on the wings, which are incredibly designed. So when it comes to the articulation and build, this is rock solid and an incredible posing experience. When you think SD, posability is not what you get, but when it comes to these Master Grade SD kits, Bandai has pulled out all the stops. This is ridiculously posable and ridiculously expressive, looking dynamic like it should, Seed style, in every pose you put it in. It's got a great neck, which, once again, not something you'd say about an SD, a fantastic ab crunch combined with a dropping crotch, which elongates the torso so you can get great in-flight or on-the-ground poses. Also, think about this. This is an SD kit with that classic sliding upper leg armor gimmick. Glorious. The Master Grade SD Freedom Gundam started the Master Grade SD line with a bang. A fully featured Master Grade in an SD style body, finally bringing that awesome NX Edge aesthetic to Gunpla. This is a line of kits that has blown me away and a line of kits I expect to see great things from. When an SD kit outdoes its Master Grade counterpart twice, you know it's a bizarre year to be a Gunpla builder. The Master Grade SD line has established itself as an amazing brand that I hope is here to stay. The MG SD Gundam Barbatos took what the Freedom Gundam did and dialed the awesome meter up even further. This time with a 100% full inner frame and weapons that don't just look awesome, they do stuff too. Aesthetically, this kit is the full package. It's gorgeous, looks perfect, both inside and out. This SD Barbatos has a fully featured, beautiful inner frame, just like what we would have seen with the Master Grade offering, and debatably, it's even nicer, especially considering its diminutive size. Once the armor is snapped on, this is one beautiful demon. Silver plastic showing up through the outer armor from the silver frame parts underneath. Beautiful clear parts in the eyes as well as those power icons designed for maximum sparkle with that new MGSD reflector technology. Color separation here is 100% perfect, but some nubbage can show on the blue, so be careful there with the cleanup. The pistons, one of Barbie's most iconic attributes, are back in perfect Master Grade detail with moving gimmicks. The pistons do piston things. And on top of that, we now have new pop-out shoulder gimmicks completely unique to this version of the Barbatos. Stickers are also included. They are that normal sticker style, but for some reason this time around, they're not so bad. The edges seem to be a little bit thinner, they don't show up as much, and we do have some nice options including battle-damaged versions of the Tekkadan logo. Accessories time, and when it comes to the loadout, we've got the usual Barbatos murder toolkit of mace, smoothbore gun, and longsword. Hands in here are semi-posable and very functional, just like with the Freedom, it's a movable thumb and fingers. The mace is nice, holds in perfectly, and is super easy to pose, the first for a Barbatos kit. We also have an exclusive expanding gimmick and pile bunker that expand with a simple push. The smoothbore gun is big and awesome with a collapsing folding mechanism as well as a nicely articulated handle that makes it a snap to attach and pose even with those stubby arms. The sword is simple but beautiful and does exactly what a sword needs to do. All of the accessories can be stored in the backpack, which does have nice moving gimmicks to allow the weapons to seamlessly move from the backpack right around to the hands around front. Finally onto the articulation and build, and this kit is perfect as you would expect from a Gundarium tier kit. Articulation that might actually be better than the Master Grade is somehow squeezed into this tiny little package, and combining that with these killer aesthetics, this kit is a poser's dream, and it always looks insanely dynamic. What can I say? These are things I never thought I would be saying about an SD kit, and I couldn't be happier. If you need a mini kick-ass Barbatos, you need this. If you've passed on the Master Grade SD line because, well, they're SD, I say open your mind and try these out because you're missing out on some of the best Master Grades that are out there. Finally, onto the top 3, and this year we've got Gundams representing 3 of the main Gundam model kit lines. So each of these upcoming kits is a king in its own right, and all deserving of the number 1 spot for one reason or another, and definitely depending on your own specific PLA preferences. So any of these is an absolute winner, and I just put them in order of, well, which is the best model kit regardless of grade. Dropping into the 3rd position and flying up into the camera like some kind of Gundam Unicorn reference is the high-grade Gundam Calibarn from The Witch from Mercury. Unlike the relationship status of your favorite tomato aficionados, the quality of this kit isn't up to your interpretation. It's fucking awesome. Plain and simple. And this is the greatest high-grade model kit currently in existence. 11 out of 10 in every regard. Aesthetically, this kit looks incredible, the pinnacle of Venatus design and the unicorn Gundam of the Witch from Mercury universe. Even out of box with no effort, this kit completely delivers, but with that little bit of work to bring out those details, this is a masterpiece. The pearlescent permit shell units look incredible, smoky clear parts with beautiful shiny pearl permit underneath, although it would have been nice to have some red options in here too, to represent what this Gundam looked like, well, 90% of the time. Even though this kit is similar to Ariel in a lot of regards, Bandai still kept this unique in a lot of ways. A boxy masculine shape, an incredibly effective color scheme predominantly in white, those super long, narrow, unique feet, and not to forget that prismatic, pearlescent V-fin. When it comes to the accessories, what more do I have to say? This is a Gundam with a broom. A semi-transforming, variable broom. Finally putting the Witch in The Witch from Mercury. On top of that, we get alternate parts, a shield, beam sabers, and a stand. As for hands, sadly it is just the basic high-grade holding hands. Optional parts allow you to build this kit with the shell units deactivated in a smoky clear black or in the pearl. The beam sabers here are normal. The escutcheon shield is a color-swapped version of Ariel's shield clad in white, so that means no stickers required. It can be used just like before as a shield, split up into individual bit staves, or attach on to enhance the Calibarn, in the bulkier bit-on form. Of course, the main event in this kit is the ridiculous but awesome variable broom rifle. So finally, this witch is packing an actual broom. It attaches onto the backpack via an articulated arm and attaches round front onto the hand. We've got various expanding and opening gimmicks, some fold-out thrusters around back, which I will mention do rely a bit on some stickers, forward stickers, which is normal for a high grade, but overall it is one wicked weapon. Articulation-wise, the Calibarn has that typical Witch from Mercury rock-solid build and can pull off any and every pose you can throw at it. And we do have some nice expressive backpack thrusters that add nicely to that dynamic silhouette. An absolute joy to pose, and it always looks incredible both on the ground and in the air. So yeah, the Witch from Mercury line completely revolutionized high-grade Gunpla, and this right here is the pinnacle of this incredible model kit line. This is a Gundarium tier masterpiece and the greatest high-grade of all time. Depending on who you ask, Real Grade is the best line of Gunpla out there, delivering perfect kit after perfect kit after perfect kit. This wasn't always the case, but over the last few years Bandai has delivered what are essentially tiny mini master grade kits that push the boundaries of mecha model kit engineering. And I'm happy to say 2023's Real Grade Epyon was no different. Aesthetically, this does everything you would expect from a Real Grade and more. It is a stunning little kit. If you're looking for a Gundam model kit that looks like a masterpiece right out of the box, RG is always the way to go, and the Epyon is just that. There are some stickers included, but they're definitely not the best. Bandai needs to put in, you get it, water slides. Year on year, Bandai ups their parts layering game, allowing colors from lower layers to come up through the surface armor, which means more detail and color separation, but using less parts. And this greatly enhances the surface detail that we see on the Epyon. Speaking of color separation, this kit kills it with 2 tones of maroon, tons of minor details, and a beautiful clear green. That clear green in here is UV reactive, so it glows under blue or UV light. And this kit features the best light piping I have ever seen on a Gundam kit, ever. For beautiful, intense, glowing eyes and head camera, this kit blows the old Epyon completely away. It is phenomenally gorgeous. When it comes to the accessories, your boy Miliardo breaks the usual Gundam tradition and goes full close combat, and these are some over-the-top accessories. This is a fully loaded kit, so we do get multiple hand options, and the hands are gorgeous, fantastically sculpted. No beam sabers here, we get a gigantic beam sword that's so big it has a cable supplying power to it. It attaches in easy, holds on perfectly, and looks phenomenal in every pose. Just like the green on the kit itself, it glows under UV2 for an impressive display, even though, you know, it is a 1/44th scale kit. The Epyon shield is amazing as well, and that whip is a plastic model marvel. You do not have to build it at all. Bandai molded a fully articulated segmented whip on one runner. It's amazing and beautiful, and I don't even understand how they did it. Pure model kit black magic, and it comes out, cleans up, and poses beautifully. The articulation and build strength is both intricate and perfect, allowing you to eke out perfect dynamic poses, no matter how particular a poser you are. We've got an impressive yet not so user-friendly locking and unlocking mechanism to drop the hips, but it does greatly enhance the posability. Also, this right here is a transforming Real Grade. Think about it. How it started versus how it's going. This is a perfect transformation. Sure, it looks daft from below, but that's just par for the course for a wing design. Come on, its legs have become fucking dragons. Also, it doesn't undermine the robot mode in any shape or form. Beautiful. Kit after kit, Real Grade continues to impress, and the Real Grade Epyon is no different, and another mini Master Grade masterpiece. When you see that iconic white box, you know you're in for it. Wait, what am I in for? What are you in for? Usually a world of hurt, because Verka kits are renowned as experimental kits that push Gunpla beyond its limits. Usually too far beyond its limits, to the point where you end up having to fix the finished model kit yourself in the end. Thankfully, those days seem to be over, and the last couple of Verka kits have been fantastic out of box. And thankfully, so is this. And finally, an actual perfect Zeta Gundam. But is it really that much better than the 20-year-old Zeta 2.0? Yes. Yes, it is. Aesthetically, the Master Grade Zeta Verka is new meets old. A fantastically detailed, fully featured Master Grade kit that respects the old school anime design of the Zeta Gundam. Out of box with nothing added, this kit looks incredible, and a perfect plastic model kit tribute to the 80s Gundam icon. Big hands and big head to boot. It is worth noting that Verka kits always come with a giant sheet of water slide decals as standard, so if you love decaling a kit, you will love this. It took me a solid day just to decal it up. A whole day. Just for the decals. But it was totally worth it. Like a lot of the premium kits we've seen this year, we've got that incredible layering of parts that allows the grey from underneath to show through the armor as a nice grey part separation, adding subtle mechanical detailing without oversaturating its anime-accurate look. How this compares to the beloved classic Zeta Gundam 2.0 is completely subjective, and you can find a full in-depth comparison in my video review, but I will mention that beauty is only armor deep, and the Verka trounces the 2.0 in every technical aspect. Inside of this box, accessories-wise, it's quality over quantity. The usual Gundam loadout of sword, board and beam rifle has been crafted in extreme detail. On top of that, we have some adapters, missile pods and hand parts. The hands in here are the swappable finger style with a unique anime-accurate wide palm, and we also have a pair of pre-post fists. The beam sabers are basic beam sabers, not much else to say. The beam rifle is fantastically detailed, it's so nice. It's got insane part separation and a nice extending gimmick, but sadly it does have stickers for the lenses. It pops into the hand perfectly and looks great. The shield is also incredibly impressive with brilliant color separation down to the tiny yellow details, and the mechanical detail on the underside is impressive. Optional equipment includes arm grenade launchers, which adds some nice bulk to the arms, and a nice sliding grenade hatch gimmick in the wrist. The articulation and build strength is one word: phenomenal. Once again, this is a Gundam model kit that has a fully fleshed out perfect transformation, and for the first time in Zeta history has been designed in such a way that we have a full transformation that does not undermine the articulation and posability while in robot mode. The articulation in robot mode is sheer poetry and works perfectly, allowing you to get whatever dynamic over-the-top pose that you want. And speaking of that transformation, if you love transforming robots, you will love this. It is an incredibly intricate transformation that is simultaneously quite intuitive. It is very detailed, however, so a little difficult at first, but once you master it, it's utterly satisfying. Every year we tend to see at least one Gundam that showcases Bandai's model kit design prowess in full, and in 2023, the Master Grade Zeta Gundam Ver.Ka was that kit. Literally perfect in absolutely every way, this is a love song to a mecha classic, and a model kit worthy of the #1 spot. It does everything you could hope a mecha model kit would do, and every millimeter of this robot has been intricately designed to perfection. Master Grade might be long dead, but Master Grade Ver.Ka still thrives. So yeah, that is it for my top 10 best Gundam model kits of 2023. What can I say, it was a weird year for Gunpla. Heavily dominated by high grade, we got 22 high grade kits. After that, then it was 2 full mechanics, 2 master grade SDs, 1 master grade Ver.Ka, 2 entry grades, and 1 real grade. And I will mention that is not including the countless amount of P Bandai and Gundam base releases. It's kind of a bit crazy. With the Witch from Mercury line revolutionizing high-grade Gunpla in the early part of the year, and then the quality taking a nosedive with the sketchy Gundam Build Metaverse releases, which, as you can see, were not on this list whatsoever, and the Plutine Gundam taking the crown as the worst release of the year. I actually wish I could retroactively go back and redub that brown tier. It's a kit so bad, Bandai shouldn't have even bothered. When it comes to Master Grade, it may be dead and gone, but 1/100 continues on regardless, and quite decently at that. And of course, Real Grade did keep the fire alight with the Real Grade Epion. So what is going to be coming in 2024? As for what we know so far, the new Seed movie seems to be the main event at first, completely dominating releases with high grades, and 1 real grade I think. We've got a new Master Grade Ver.Ka announced, which is the Narrative Gundam, but beyond that, who is to say where it's going to go? Personally, I think we were heavily, really badly, due a perfect grade release. That would be nice. But beyond that, who knows? So how about you? What were your favorite kits of the year, and what are your recommendations? Drop them down there in the comments, and as always, make sure to come back in 2024 for more Gunpla reviews, and as always, I'll see you next time.